Right now, I'd like to introduce again Jeff Segal.
How's everyone doing today?
Great. Fabulous.
Ah, great. Everyone have a good time last night? Do any strange things? I did. I don't remember everything I did last night, but some of it was wild, and some of you guys saw me doing it. Actually, I was doing the worm outside. Who caught me doing the worm? Anyone see me doing the worm?
I did.
You did? Darn. I was hoping you would say you forgot. Well, so far the cruise has been nothing but wonderful. And like I said yesterday, if anybody in here not here yesterday? You guys are all back, huh? I like it. Okay. This is great. I put something simple together today because today I want some more participation. Anybody think of some things that you had questions about from yesterday leading to today? No? You guys know it all, huh? Ah, thank you. Today what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you some different modalities and some different things that are, you get to choose and pick and choose the different types of exercises, what fits you. So I'm going to bring out a bunch of stuff. I'd taken some pictures of the gym here. I didn't get them into the PowerPoint this morning. So if you guys are daring enough to go up to the gym after I tell you the different types of things, you guys can just go up there and take a peek at some of the equipment. And I got them on my phone, so if you want to come check out my phone after I'm done talking, you can take a look. Okay, planes of motion. Does this mean anything to any of you? As humans, we move on three different planes primarily. The frontal plane, which separates anterior and posterior. So that would mean it would cut your body in half this way, and all movements along the side of your body would be along that plane. The next one would be the transverse plane, which is responsible for rotational movement. Stuff along this way cuts your body up and down in half. And that would be exercise, any kind of exercise that you're turning, rotational, and I'll show you some pretty cool things. But when you walk, you're walking on a couple of different planes, and when you walk, you turn. So you are rotating your body. So it's important to keep those rotational muscles active, and when you're in a chair, most of your activity is on the transverse plane. So, because you have to reach and you have to turn and grab. And the last one's the sagittal plane, which is cutting it in left and right, so that would be doing anything along here. And that's walking as well, because walking or lifting your leg, that'd be the same thing. Getting in and out of a chair is on the sagittal plane. You with me?
Yes.
All right. I'm not going to have a quiz at the end. Okay, the four pillars of human movement are standing and locomotion, which is also, it's in a chair as well, because you're moving forward. The foundation would be ground base of support, which means if I'm standing here, the energy is coming from down to up. So it's best if you can stand to do whatever exercise you can while you're on your feet. But whatever you're on, such as a chair, then your butt becomes your ground base of support. Same thing. It's important, though, because if you take that away from it and you're doing exercise on a machine or something, it won't translate to where you are when you're doing your regular activities of life. Pushing and pulling, that's simple. Pushing is anything going away from your body. Pulling is bringing anything towards your body. And last is rotational movements, which requires or produces torque. Anybody in here play golf? Anybody in here watch golf? Anybody in here care about golf? Okay, we're not playing golf today. I like to compare everything, and I'm going to move on from here. I'll leave this up so you can continue to look at it. But I like to compare everything to sports because I love sports and athletics. And you guys are all athletes. You guys just, if you don't think you're an athlete, then I'm going to prove today that you are.
For Ohio State's watching, I watch. Michigan?
Yeah, well, I'm a Florida guy, so that's far from me. But as athletes, what's something that every sport starts in the ready position, right? You guys familiar with that? Do you know why? Because that's when you're most ready. If you're in a chair, you have your own ready position. You got a seat back, you're ready here, and then whatever comes your way, that's the easiest way to move. When you're standing up and something happens, can anybody think of a sport that doesn't have a ready position?
Bowling?
Bowling? Come on. Is this how you start? That's the ready position. Well, that's how you're supposed to start. It's like this, and you start here, and then you go up and bowl.
Okay.
Anything else?
Chess.
What?
Chess.
Is chess a sport? It's like poker. You know, they have it on ESPN, I think. Poker, chess, but I don't consider them an actual sport.
Mental sport.
Yes, that's true. And you have to be mentally prepared for just about everything. Okay, resistance exercise. I'm starting out with body weight because that's something we all have. Nobody came in here without body weight. And I don't think anybody came in here without a little bit more body weight than they had at the beginning of the cruise. I know I do. Some of the pants that I tried on before I got here are now. Yeah, I don't know how. These cruises always shrink my clothes. But body weight exercises are something that you're born with. You're born with your body weight. You're born with your limbs. If you can't use one side, use the other side. Use the other side to move the side you can't use. Because that's how you're going to get a good workout. Anybody in here do body weight exercises? Okay, all right. Anybody have any questions about body weight exercises?
I don't know what you mean by body weight.
That means like your arm weighs 4 pounds, that's body weight. I don't know if your arm weighs 4 pounds.
Well,
So
no.
if you
Yeah,
lift,
because I do exercises, but I'm using my body, so I don't know if you would think that was
when I'm talking about body weight exercise, I'm talking about exercise when you're using yourself as the equipment and the resistance comes from you without anything in your hands, without anything else. So if I was just to, yeah, push-ups, sit-ups, a squat.
Water aerobics.
Yeah, water aerobics, and that just takes a little bit of the body weight away, which makes it a little bit easier because gravity is gone. So how many of you, with a raise of hand, can stand up once? Okay. So you guys can all do body weight squats. You can. Some are assisted, some aren't. I'll show you what I mean. If you can do this, that's a squat. You want to see an assisted squat. And it may look like this. And then from here to here is the squat. Does that seem like something some of you guys can do? If you can't do it from that height, then you do it from something like this. It's just a modified squat.
She didn't get a chance to see your assisted squat.
Okay. This would be a squat, you know, because if I just came down to here and came up, that's a squat. And if I pushed off, and then from here to here is the squat. And if you have a wall, this would be an isometric squat, so that means you're just holding it here. Or you can go up and down on a wall. And if you had something like a stability ball, then you could put that against a wall if you're able to, or in a corner if you're a little bit off balance doing it. But you really can do a lot more when you get a little bit of help. Any questions on body weight? I'll show you some other body weight things. A push-up, okay? How many people in here are going to be honest and tell me that when they walked in here, or walked in some room, or walked around some corner today, they bumped their shoulder? I'm better. You're good at it, I'm better, because I'd say about 3 out of 10 doorways or hallways or walkways or something that I'm coming in, boom. And it took me about 4 years before I went to any kind of support groups for MS with bad shoulders, wondering, gosh, why do I keep doing this? And I'm like, hey, I'm at home here. Look at all these people are doing the same thing. And there wasn't even a sign outside that said you have to bump into the door. So one thing that happens is if you're on your feet and you're walking and you're going through a crowd, like a cruise ship, casino, because I see everyone bumping into everybody, and something hits you here, which might just be someone bumped into you, you could go down. You can lose your balance, and that all comes from your core. So your core, the muscles that would help you in that would be your rotational muscles, which go back to the last slide that I said. So you want these muscles strong. So if you want these muscles strong, I'll show you something that you can do that will help it and help some other things. A modified push-up would be a one-arm push-up on the door or a wall, even if it's just that little movement. So if you're doing this, what's preventing me from doing this are my rotational muscles. They're just working without motion. Do you see what I mean? Does that make sense? And if you switch, it goes the other way. Or if you were to get into a push-up position on one arm and hold it there, you're doing the same thing as you would be doing there. And if it's two arms and you can't get on one arm, something like that might be the trick. Doesn't mean you have to get on the ground and do it. The wall is fine. Even if you had somebody in front of you, anybody want to be a volunteer right now? Sit, stay. Just stay right there. No, okay. Let me see your hand. High five. Okay, let it go back and push. You feel your core muscles? Mm-hmm. You're working your chest, your arms, your shoulders, and your core. You know, you're working rotation, your rotator muscles with the absence of rotation, but to maintain stability. Make sense, everyone? Okay. The cats? I don't know, but when you figure that one out, contact me. I want to know. The girl push-up, I never learned that one. I'm just kidding. I'll show you the girl push-up if this is what you mean. But that did so much disservice to women over the years. They should never have taught the girl push-up because, especially as children, girls and guys are built the same. You know, it's not until puberty comes where guys become a little bit bigger, taller, and a little stronger. But it's hurtful. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of different things. Different types of push-ups now that you say that. A push-up is important also because when I'm doing a push-up, everything facing the ground is working. All these muscles in the front of me. Because if they weren't, this is what would happen. Bad back happens from that. But if you can keep a straight posture and come down, your abs are working. Your chest is working. Now the girl push-up would be this. Is this what you mean? Okay. Now I'm going to show you the right way to do a girl push-up and the wrong way to do a girl push-up. And if any girls in here think that it's really the wrong way, tell me. I'm just a guy, you know. This is the wrong way. Because I'm not even barely. And that's what I see all the time when I'm teaching someone to push up. I'll say, do a push-up, and they'll go, okay. But this is the right way, to keep your body as straight as it could be. You guys see that?
Lift your legs up.
Huh?
Lift your legs up.
What do you mean?
Go.
Like,
Put your knees down. Lift your feet up. There we go.
okay, there.
Cross your legs.
Cross the legs, that's the girl.
Thank you.
That's the real girl. That's the real one.
What is the girl push-up?
A girl push-up is on your knees rather than on your feet. This is a guy push-up. Girl push-up.
Push your leg, yeah.
And then that. Now sit-ups, no sit-ups. I don't believe in sit-ups. Crunches, yes. Sit-ups, no. Sit-ups do too much harm to the lower back. There's a lot of things that we used to do that are now considered harmful.
Can you show us what you recommend as far as the crunch, Jeff?
Yes. Okay, let's see. Am I the first one to get up here in this trip? Okay, a crunch. Just to get your shoulder blades off the ground and down. You don't want to come up higher. And if you could do them like this, even better. If you have your feet on something, that's okay as well. Ah, but there's no counter. Can you guys see me here?
Yeah.
All right. Or if you can do it with your legs up. The hard part about that is your hip flexors. Hip flexors are difficult with MS especially.
You recommend doing crossover where you're
Yeah, that would be a progression. That would be a progression from going side to side. And there's a lot of other things you can do along those lines that are helpful.
Can you do it on a bed? Would it be as effective or no?
Doing it on a bed is more effective than not doing it at all. Less effective than doing it on the ground or on something that's flat. But what's happening is as you're coming up, the bed has a little more give, and it takes away from your muscles working a little bit. But it's better than not doing it at all.
Jeff, could I ask you one more question?
Yes.
What happens if you can't even get your shoulder, like, there's days I just can't even, it's just not engaging?
On the days that it won't, then pick another day and do a different exercise.
So you wouldn't recommend, like, getting resistance bands that could help you get up?
Yes, you can do something like that if you're able to fire your muscles. But if you're just doing it without your muscles firing, there's better exercise that you can do with the bands. I got bands in here, so I'll show you.
Question, if you're not equal strength with your arms, then I'm going back to the push-ups.
Yeah.
That sort of scares me because one arm doesn't.
Okay, so that's when you modify it, and you modify it.
How do you do that with unequalness?
You do it on the wall or do it on something that you're not going to hurt yourself. If you're on the ground and you have one arm that's stronger than the other, your other arm is going to get more work. But in order to keep your body up, you need to stabilize with your core. So you are working your core. And you keep modifying. You keep modifying until you get it right, until you get it to be something you're able to do. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah. What about planks?
Planks are great. That was just what I was going to get into. This is a plank. I'm going to show you the easiest plank, I would say, is you're working all the muscles in the front, just like the push-up. Then a full plank. Now you can do a modified plank on your knees. Sorry. Or a full plank. Or you can modify that even more to where you're doing something like this. Or doing it with one leg off the ground. Now if you were to do a push-up, if you just got into a push-up position, and you're able to lift one leg up and do push-ups, now you're working your front and your back because this leg is up, so you're working your lower back. So you get a lot out of your body weight. I can do a 2-hour talk on body weight exercises, and it'd blow your mind. So next time you guys see me, you remind me of that. Huh? Shoulder width. Shoulder width is right. But the further out you go, the more you're going to get your chest. The closer together you go, the more you're going to get triceps. Oh, the feet, that depends on how stable you are. The further your feet are apart, the more stable you are, the longer the lever arm. All right. Okay, free weights. These are just some of the free weights. Now, I had some pictures from upstairs, 12th floor, if you haven't been there yet. Dumbbells. You guys remember what dumbbells name comes from, right? All right. You can go home and tell everybody. I learned about where the dumbbell name came from, and it wasn't you. Barbells, medicine balls, sandbags, basically anything that you add to the body weight. You can put a jacket on that's a weighted jacket. Some of the cooling vests are heavy, some aren't. But if you get a heavy one and you double it up, then you're actually got something to work with. You know, do you guys know what I'm talking about? The best body weight or piece of equipment that I've found is working with somebody else. You know, if you work with somebody else, and I know you guys, this may sound a little wild, but throw someone on your shoulders and do exercises, or like a fireman carry, something along those lines. Or like I was doing with someone over there, the push-ups. There he is, Indiana Jones. No, that was me last night. I had to role play as Indiana Jones. Oh, you should have seen it. No, you shouldn't have.
We witnessed it.
Yeah, there are witnesses. So using somebody else. Now, it's good to have somebody else so you can do stuff like that, push and pull, push and pull. And you can also add balance into if you can stand up. Anybody want to come up here that's able to stand so that everyone can see? All right, come on. Okay, put your hand against my hand, this one. Okay, now just you push. Now let me push. Now that's a full work. That's pretty strong. You're working your core as much as you're working your chest. Something I like to do is here, hold my hand. Oh, I love holding hands. Now balance on one leg. Now try to get me off balance. You know, that's something that you know, it's fun, and you're working balance and you're working resistance and a lot of core. Thank you very much. But that's something that you can do. Now, if two people are in a chair, you can do the same thing. You can go up close, side to side. If I was in the chair, I'm going to come to you and pick on you because you let me before. If I was in a chair right here, we can both do the same thing, pushing and back and forth, sitting in a chair, and then pulling. So what's good about that is you're doing a lot of concentric, which is the positive motion of the exercise, which causes less soreness. Eccentric exercises cause a little bit more. Do you know what eccentric versus concentric are? Concentric would be the push. Eccentric would be the negative side of that when it's coming back. So you're recruiting a little bit more muscle fibers to come back because you have to be more controlled than the push. Does that make sense? Do you want me to show you an example? Eccentrically, I'm coming down right now. Concentrically, I'm coming up. And there are pieces of equipment that are concentric. Usually they're hydraulic machines that you push, then you got to pull against it to come back. Push, pull, push, pull. So it's non-stop concentric action. Barbells, medicine balls. I brought a couple of small medicine balls. Remember, we were going to piss them off downstairs. Anybody want to come up or feel this? How this feels? These are both 5 pounds, 2 pounds. Anyone? Bueller? Okay. Okay, throw it to me. All right. Here. Throw it to me. Throw it to him. No, I'm just kidding. And here. All right. Now here's a lighter one. Oh, you can throw your coffee too. It counts. It's a resistance. Now, these are 2 medicine balls. You can do all kinds of stuff. What I love to do to start out an exercise, a workout, would be sitting on a stability ball, which we don't have any to show. And sitting on the stability ball, the first thing I do is I have people imagine I'm sitting on the stability ball, just side to side on the stability ball. And I do that. Then I go front and back on the stability ball. Don't say anything right now. I know what you're thinking. And then I go in circles. This way and then this way. Then what I do is I do what I call a medicine ball chop. So with a 2-pound weight, you're going to be on all planes of motion, and you're going to warm up your body the way it should be warmed up. Not just on a, that's a good thing to do to warm up or on the bike, but this is like the real movements that you're going to use every day. And the cool thing is, you can tell kind of what muscles are working by the way your shirt folds. It's true. If you ever see a golfer, you know what muscles are most important? You see these muscles? Those muscles are working. Your muscles form somewhat of a serape that protects your core. So chops this way. You can go deeper into it. You can go here. Chops up and down. And chops side to side. Now those kind of covered the movements that I was showing you before. It's all kind of coming together now. Now, if you don't have the ability to do something this heavy, remember there are balloons. Okay, you could do the same thing with these because to some, this might feel very heavy. To others, it might not. Oh, everyone's looking like, please don't throw it at me. So who can catch this? You? No? You know what the worst thing that happens is? It falls. Look, you know, look at him, he's doing push-ups now.
Oh, he wants to eat it.
Here. Oh, that's okay. People downstairs might be mad, but we're not. We're happy people in here, right? Here.
Sorry.
That's all right. So I want 2 people up here. Come on, 2 people. 2 people standing up here. One, I knew he was going to be one of them, and I knew you'd be the other, especially when you guys stood up. Okay, usually I do this with the bouncy ball. Bouncy ball cue. Who's got the bouncy ball? Throw it. If it hits someone in the back of the head, it won't hurt them. Whoa. Or if it hits 2 people in the back of the head. Usually I do them with this, and then I progress to a heavy ball. But what I want you to do is throw that to him while he throws it to you.
You actually had to coordinate it, too.
Aha, coordination. This is what you're working, is your coordination. Keep your knees slightly bent.
Good catch, Jim.
Can you keep your knees a little bit bent? Don't lock them. I got it. I actually switched it. This one's getting soft. It's okay. Here. I got an extra. Come on. Okay, now you want to see something cool? Look at them. They're smiling. Okay? Exercise. You can smile and exercise. It can be fun. If it's fun, you're more likely to do it. Let's try something really weird out here. I'm going to throw this to you. You throw that to him. He's going to throw that to me.
Okay.
Ready? Go. Right. Go. At the same time. Come on. One more time. We got to get it. We got to get it. Everyone's counting on us here. No pressure. 1. All right. The whole point is, here you go. It's fun. It's fun. And some people that don't get enough aerobic exercise, throw an orange to them, let them drop it and go get it. You always got to find the little things. And you know what happens if you can't catch an orange? An apple. Because, everyone's comparing apples and oranges these days. Okay, medicine balls, sandbags. The thing about the medicine balls that I have, I'll get to this in a moment. This is 50 cents, right? 25. Come on, I was trying to make you some money. You could have sold it. 25 cents. You can get these at Walmart. You can get them at thrift shops, or you can get them at, where do you get yours? Goodwill. They're great. You know what happens if you miss it? Nothing. See? Did it hurt? No. Okay. Maybe hurt your feelings, but not. Come on. Got it. Round of applause. But these are fun because these are other things that when your coordination's not all there, you're using more neural recruitment to actually grab the ball. And if you miss it, you know what you do? Try it again. The first way you do it would be something like this. Simple, right? Not always, but, and then you can progress to something like this. And then you can progress to something like, no, I won't do that one yet. That, and something like that. But it takes time to do all those things. Then you do it on one foot with a thing on your nose and a honk. Yep. So the sandbag. Who wants to feel a sandbag? All right. A little heavier than you thought? Yeah. But if you drop it, it's not going to really hurt. You see, it's soft, right? And it's good for grip strength. And you can do all the stuff that I was showing you out there. But there's some more stuff you can do with it. Here, let me see. Remember the chops. You can do the chops with that. You can do alternate presses, curls, triceps, lateral raises, all the same things that a dumbbell can do. But when you get on the ground, you can do a push-up with an uneven or a level change where you're up here.
What are you working when you do it?
You're working more core because you're going further away from having a stable base of support. Or if you have somebody else there, now it's on all fours. Now you can do it the girl way, or you can do something where you're here, you pass it to that person, they hand it off, pass it back to you. Or at the push-up, doing it like this. Then they'd pass it this way and back and forth. So many different things you can do with these things. Any questions on the sandbags? No one even wants to know where to get them? I have no idea. No. No, I got it at a conference, but you can get them at fitness sites. Yes.
Bag of rice works well.
Great. Yeah, very, very, very good. Bag of rice, weigh it so you know what you're doing with it. That way when you progress, you can add more weight. But sand, I'm from Florida. We have a lot of sand.
We have a lot of sand in Michigan, too.
You do?
A little wet sand.
Is it from Florida?
No.
Okay, good. Just making sure. You've got to keep our sand in Florida. You know, beach erosion. Okay, let's see. Now, some other things. I'm going to skip around because I do have some slides up ahead that are going to include this. But with this, just holding it, squeezing it isometrically. When you sit down, you can do adduction exercise with your hips. Now, another thing, here's something that I was going to get to with, was it you that was asking about if you can't do the crunch this way? Well, depending on your leg strength. If you're on the ground, but you're not going to be able to see me. Actually, I'll go up here and do it. I like this spot. While you're on the ground or in bed, you can do this. But if you're able to do this, you're working the same muscles as you would if you're doing this. It's just the origin and insertion of the muscles flip-flop. Or bridging. You guys know how to bridge? Another body weight exercise. What I would do is if somebody had weak adductors, I'd have them squeeze this with the ball and bridge. I have a strap for when you have the weak abductors, and you put it around your knees and you still do the bridge. And that's working your glutes, hamstrings, calves, lower back, and some. Okay. What? She's putting me on the spot. You put it around your knees, keep them apart while you're doing the bridge. You see how I'm standing? You can also do lateral steps like this, if you're able to. If you're not, you pick something else. That's even more fun. No.
If you have a hard time keeping your legs together, when you can have that on also when you do your bridge.
Yes, you can. Yep. Anything to help.
With a cane?
What?
You do that holding onto a cane?
Can I hold on to a cane and do this? You mean like use it as? Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Don't want to trip. So these are different types of exercise. I'm kind of jumping around, but I really want to get you guys to get a feeling of what you guys are able to do. Something that I also do with my clients. I'm going to need a volunteer. You can stay in your seat right now, as long as you can stand up, kind of, even if it's with assistance. Anybody, you, okay. Stay, stay, stay. Just kidding. Remember that game?
Yes, yes.
Okay, what I want you to do is stand up. Okay, and sit. Now one more time. Stand up and sit. Now do it without me holding. Was it a little bit easier with me holding?
Yes.
Okay, but you barely were touching my hands, right? Wait, listen to the captain. All right, we can find out from someone else. But what I like to do is see which hand's pushing harder, how much they're doing, and if they can do it without my hands there. And it's helpful. That's when, if you have a partner, the partner can be seated and do that. But it's a really good way to have a little bit of a spot, a little bit of help, and maintain that exercise. Still body weight. Dynamic resistance, constant resistance, hydraulic resistance, aquatics. These are different types of machines. I said aquatics in there because I'm going out of the resistance for a moment, but they actually have treadmills that are in water. Anyone seen those?
I've seen the Stairmaster.
Yeah, the Stairmaster in the water. These are great because for people who can't do this stuff out of the water and then in the water, it's a lot easier to do it, and people can walk, and they have safety, they can strap and strapping. You do whatever you can, that's going to make it more likely for you to get a workout, whatever it takes. And don't forget that you can always ask for help. And the worst thing that's going to happen if you ask for help is someone's going to say no. And then you don't need their help anyways, do you? Constant resistance. The machines that have the stacks, that's constant resistance. Variable resistance are the machines that you see in the gym that have a cam. You know what a cam is? You ever see, like, you guys ever use the machines? The machines in the gym are good if you can't do the other machines, or if you can't do free weights, or if it's unsafe. They're good. They're even good if you can do it, but you're building up muscle strength, muscle endurance, and hypertrophy, which is the size of the muscle. You want to keep lean body mass. It's so important to have lean body mass versus fat body mass. The percentage is what you should be targeting as your weight loss goal is fat loss. But doing those machines helps, so you're constantly under resistance, but the variability of it is it's matching your strength curve. So if you're doing a curl, anyone in here know what a curl is? Okay, when you're doing a curl like this and you're lifting, from here to about here, you're really fighting gravity the most. But when you get to here, you're really not, because it's not much of a gravitational force. But those mimic your strength curve, and when you're doing it, it's constantly giving you resistance. You know, if people do concentration curls like this, that's because they want gravity to be against them the whole time. So that's why they built those machines. Then you see like the universal machines. Those are good. But remember, whatever you're doing in the gym, however much stronger you've got, or however much ability you can do in the gym, means nothing if it doesn't transfer somewhat to out of the gym. It doesn't mean nothing because you are building strength and muscle mass, but outside of the gym is the best place to measure your gains inside the gym. Because you see all these muscle heads in there that are throwing stuff around, and they probably are horrible at doing push-ups and horrible at doing these other things because they're practicing for what they want, which is to be on stage doing this. You know, big muscles popping out. Okay, and aquatics. The hydraulic resistance one is what I was telling you about, the positive. It pumps up the resistance, and if it's an overhead press, you'd follow an overhead press by a lat pull down. So you're working the agonist and the antagonist one after another. Then they just flip-flop. The agonist would be the muscles you're working coming up, and the antagonist would be the opposite muscles. And then coming back down, you're pulling, pushing, pulling. It's very, very tiring, but it's just another type of exercise that's out there. Resistance bands, cables. They're my favorite. Cables, pulleys. All right, let's not do the bands. I'm just kidding. And you know, when I'm working with my clients, I have some clients that I have to have closer attention to. Some I'm able to actually hold the band like this, and they're on the other side pulling. But when I have a few clients that I'm working with often that I have to secure this in a door so I can spot them, I'll start to have some back problems and stuff, and I forget, and I realize, oh, that's because I'm not holding onto the band. I get a back workout every time I'm holding onto a band. Who wants to try this? You can try it from wherever you're at. Okay. All right, Indy. I'm telling you, if you would have seen what they made me do last night. Okay, pull that. I hope not. You see? Now what I want you to do is press it down. Okay. Yeah. Now bring it across your body. I'm just showing you different planes of motion that you can do this on. That's going to be tougher. He's a tough guy. All right, here you go. Very good. Come on. If you guys felt how strong he was pulling that. Now, these bands are great because you can secure them in a door. I don't have a door to secure them in, so you're going to have to trust me. Actually, I'm going to run back there, and I'm going to show you how. Are those doors locked? Okay. These bands. Yeah, but the ones with the straps, there's a site that I use called Perform Better, and there's another site called.
But you're pulling anyway.
Fabulous, beautiful piece of artwork showcased today. It's a quick fire art auction featuring artwork, prizes, and much, much more. Go check that out.
Any door with a door jamb, you can do this. Now you can mimic all the exercises I was showing you before. Feet are my ground base of support. I'm doing a bench press, but I'm standing. So while standing and doing this, I'm working my core muscles. And I'm working with muscles from my feet all the way up to my shoulders. You can turn around and do a row with it. These are rows. Or you can do a combination of a squat and a row, and it helps you come back up a little bit, but squat, row. Or you can, the next step with that would be squat, row, squat, row. Now I'm going some internal rotation in my hips versus what I would call an archer to work external rotation in my hips. Yes and no. Some of them do. There's books and stuff that you can get. Yeah.
You ever think about putting these demonstrations on YouTube?
Yeah. I think about it all the time.
And you've got that from the place that you just told us?
Yeah.
Is that going to be on the website? All your stuff going to be on the website?
You can find, I think I have a link on my website that goes to it. But I'll talk to Casey and to everybody here and see if we can get some kind of links for that.
She was saying you could get those at Target and Walmart also.
You can, but the ones at Target and Walmart are usually connected by this on one side and this on the other side. And then you can't secure them in a doorway.
No, the doorway is important.
Jeff, did you give a source for those?
What?
Where can you
Performbetter.com, powersystems.com. Those are two sites that I know have them. They're called all-purpose bands. The short ones are called travel bands.
What are they called again? Where are you buying again?
I'll tell you guys afterwards. I'll tell you guys after I'm done. Now, this is the lightest resistance ones of these. Who wants to feel it? Light, easy, simple. There we go. Sold. Okay. Pull that. Pretty easy?
Very easy. I had fun with that.
Yeah. But then you can also, going against your body, you can do it in a chair, pushing forward, working core, working your from the butt up is what's working. Let's see. Okay, so the exercise balls, I kind of covered this stuff. Oranges, apples, I threw that in this morning. Balloons. Okay, here's some stuff with balloons. Sorry. Inside joke. I'm going with green today. I didn't have green yesterday, did I? I did? Okay. Cognition. Cognition does play a role with your exercises because if you forget, it's okay to bring a pad with some descriptions of the exercise because it's easy to forget what you were going to do, what the plan was, and how to do the actual exercise with your cues that make it easiest for you. Who wants to be a volunteer? Or you guys can do it to me and I'll be the volunteer if no one's going to come up.
Michigan State, I'll try it.
Huh?
Michigan State balloon, I'll try it.
Is that, this is a little bit lighter than their color.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. No, who wants to come up and volunteer? It's someone that if you can't stand up quickly, I'll do it. But all you got to be able to do is hit a balloon. Anyone. First one up here gets the balloon. It's a race. Oh, wow. You got dirty looks over there. But you won.
I won.
No, I'm just kidding.
I won.
Okay, turn this way a little bit. Throw the balloon to me. Was I talking about how core movements are while you're seated? Throw it again. So rotational movement. And then stands. And then throw it somewhere else. Throw it that way. Then I get up and catch it. come back. If you're able to get up and catch it, and if you can't, and if you're slow to get up, the balloon's slow too. One thing that I like to do is, here. Now this is progression all the way to the end of the progressions of this, but I like to do this. Hit it in the air, and catch it before it lands. Now you can pop it up and keep it going till you get it. Some people think that you have to grab it and that's it. I have a whole different view of balloons after last night. You had to be there. Okay, let's see. Some other things you can do with the balloons are, if I'm back here, catch it when you see it coming. You see, so now you don't get to, now you have to really react fast. We won't let it fall.
I think you won't let it fall.
There we go. Okay, thanks a lot. Balloons are fun until they pop, right? Okay. Find what's best for you. Add some fun to your workout, and if you can see yourself doing something, you're more likely to do it. If you keep a planner, write exercise in your planner several times every day. Because if you just pick one of them when you're feeling well and you get to that time, you got it. And you know, if you're really one of those people that follows the book, then you may want to only put it in once, because you could really overwork yourself if you do it 7 or 8 times. Toys I have in here. I call the balloon. I call this toys. Let's see. Anyone know what this is? Yep, big hamsters. You got it. It's a furniture mover. Who would have ever thought this could be an exercise equipment? If you're on the ground, if you're in a seated position, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, internal rotation, external rotation, internal circles. All these things, they're a lot easier when it's on something that can slide rather than having to use your hip flexor to pick up and move. You see, it's something that, and you know what, you can get them at Home Depot, Office Max, Staples. If I'm missing any, they're going to come after me, but it's all right. QVC, but then you got to pay for shipping. They cost usually like $15 for 4 of these. 2 of them you can give away. Sell them for 30. Now, the other things, this is other progressions that you can do with these, but if you're working on balance, put this on one foot, this on the other.
What's the other foot? What do you have over here?
This? Just the floor. So what I'm doing is I'm balancing on this leg, and I'm making a progression to maybe someday being able to do it like this. You know, but you can also go into doing something like a one-legged squat or a one-legged reach, which is like a lunge. And you can also, remember when I was showing you push-ups? Guy push-ups or girl push-ups. Oh wait, I didn't cross my legs. See? Or, now this can also be like an ab, you know the ab things? Yeah, you can do that with it. Yeah, you can make up what you want to do with it. I mean, you can make it to however fits you best, as long as it doesn't cause pain or injury. Okay, anybody in here have grasping issues? I heard someone talking about it yesterday, but you're not, you want to work out, you want to do this stuff, but you can't hold on to things. You can get a Velcro wrap and strap yourself to the equipment, or I found this. I think we could have got them somewhere in the Caribbean here, right? It looks like a hook. But this is for powerlifting, for doing heavy power lifts, shrugs, where this is made of steel. It could hold probably 500 pounds. So if you cannot do If you can't hold on to these when you're doing that exercise, now remember the resistance on these is a horizontal resistance. It's not a vertical resistance. So the resistance is coming this way. So if I let go, it's not going to land on me. That's what makes these a lot more safe than some of the other things like the dumbbells. But if I can't hold on to this, here, you hold this for me?
Sure.
Are you strong?
I hope so.
All right, I know you're strong. I felt how strong you were. If you can't do this and hold on to it, see? So this takes at least one excuse away. Erase it, okay. These I got this at Sports Authority. I was actually going to get something similar to this. I got a Velcro wrap for a client of mine that couldn't hold on to his Aerodyne where he's going this way. And I was going to just tape him to it. I saw these, said, great, I can use that. Brought it to him, changed his whole workout. This is made by Atlas, but it's called, I don't even know if it has a name. Let's see. It's called a hook. I don't know. If you go to a sporting goods store and you tell them what you're looking for, something to help, say it's usually used for heavy shrugs for this exercise, and they may have this. Ask them for the one with the steel hook at the end. Maybe, maybe not. And you know what? If they don't have it there, you can always find these things on the internet. Yeah. Well, workout equipment. It's under workout equipment, exercise equipment, and then you just got to kind of go through it, and you might find it. Okay, that's the end of my slideshow. I'm going to open the rest up to questions and want to see what you guys want to pick from my brain. You.
When will your exercise DVD be available?
I got to start making an exercise DVD. Not tomorrow, but it's in the making. I've got it all planned out up here. I've got it on paper. I just got to put it on video. So it takes time, production, and all that. But I'll make sure the foundation is, going to let you guys know. So keep looking. Any other questions? You, and then I'll go over here.
I got a question, say, I want to start my routine. What would be the essential items that I should start out with?
I would say the bouncy balls.
Okay.
Get 5 of them. It's easier if you drop them. You have another one to.
Little ones?
The one just like this.
Okay.
You get a workout partner. That's 2. You got someone? Okay. So with the workout partner, it makes it a lot easier. You know that saying, you can't pick up a pebble with one finger? Anyone ever heard that? It makes sense, right? With somebody else, it's a lot easier. You can have this back. Oh, did that hurt? I'm so sorry. No, I told you it didn't hurt. That was part of the plan. We talked about this before, right? Okay, so what was your other question? Oh, the bands. Get some bands. The ball. If you can you sit on a stability ball?
Yes. I have.
Okay, stability ball. The balloons. You're pretty set with that. But the medicine balls, all that stuff you can get at Walmart, Kmart, Target. They're usually $1 a pound. You have a question.
You're clearly one of the fabulous MSers that, unfortunately, you have the invisible disease. How does this MS affect your life?
Okay, how does it affect my life? I didn't even go into my story. Okay, I'm gonna do this really quickly because I know someone's ready to talk pretty soon, right? I was diagnosed in 1998, 15 plus years ago. Didn't know much about MS, but I did some, studying of it when I was studying my exercise science. You had to learn a little bit about everything. I went numb on one side of my body, numb on the other side, numb one side of my face, numb on the other side of my body. I was dizzy. Problems speaking, eventually optic neuritis. I had about 7 exacerbations in the first 2 years. There was a 6-month period, that I could not get out of a wheelchair unless it was onto another chair or onto the floor. I couldn't see unless I covered one eye, and then it was really blurry. with either eye. I could barely make out I couldn't make out any of you guys by face, and I could barely talk. It was like I had a mouthful of marbles. Most of my body was numb. So I've experienced just about everything, and all the other little things that come with that. I experienced, and I recovered from it. Had I recovered? Well, I can't tell you exactly how it happened. I can tell you how I got myself back on my feet with my abilities coming back was I got on all fours and I crawled. And that was so important to my gait. I never realized how important that was, because when you crawl, it's the same thing as this. One arm in front of the other. And I bumped into things. I felt every morning I woke up, I said, today I'm standing up, and I'd get up and boom, right into my closet. Probably 10 days in a row into my closet. Bruises all over one side of my body. Took me 10 days to realize that I had to either clean my closet or put a bunch of padding in there. I went with the padding. I threw the comforters in there. So I crawled on the ground wherever I went. I stayed with my parents during that time, and slowly but surely I was able to get up. But the one thing I'll tell you that I think helped me the most was, I never missed my meds. I always take my medicine. I would go to the doctor. I had a doctor that I wasn't very happy with, but he was my doctor at the time. I changed after he said these next few words. I'm sorry, but I don't think you're going to be able to get up out of that, and this might be the way you're going to be forever. He says, I just don't see it happening. And my memory tells me I got up and walked out of his office. But it didn't happen that quickly. But if you tell me I can't do something, that's it. I may spend the rest of my life trying to prove you wrong, unless it's something that I shouldn't really be doing. But determination, willpower, I believe in myself. One thing that I do is when I'm going to do an exercise that I'm not quite sure how it's going to come out, I close my eyes, I see myself doing it, and then I go ahead and I attempt the exercise. That came from my basketball coach in high school. He had 3 groups of us. We'd shoot free throws, and one group would shoot the free throws, next group would just kind of shoot around, and the other group got up to the free throw line one after another, and you had to close your eyes and just go through the motions and see yourself shooting the basket and it going in. And that was so important to me. By seeing myself do something and then doing it, because you're more likely to do something if you believe that you can do it.
I have a question. Can you show us, like, my husband has weakness in his legs, and sometimes he gets on the ground, and
What's the best way to get up? Is that?
Yeah, show us how to get up, get him off the ground.
There's, that's something that you'd work with a physical therapist on, depending on what your abilities are, and after an assessment and all the 9 yards. But there's a lot of different ways that you can get up. I mean, obviously, you're not going to jump up. You're going to, getting up onto your side is very important. Never try to get up just coming forward. It depends on your hip flexors. If you're here, if you can get to here, if you can get one arm down and to here, if you can use, you got strong upper body? Getting up to here. If you can get this leg up.
No, that's not going to
Either leg, not,
No.
okay. Always be near something. If you're falling from something, right?
I do, I turn around,
You can pull yourself up that way. Well, that's an exercise that's most important for you, would be doing these dips. Yeah, and doing dips and I like rope pulling, stuff like that. And you don't have a rope available all the time, but anything that can help you. If you can get that foot up, not fine. If not, if you can ever get yourself up to this position here, and that it's not easy. It takes a long time. All the stuff I'm showing you, I've done year after year, and it's just a routine for me. So I have to make it look easy. And I hope I answered your question. You find what's best for you and you do that. But talk to a therapist about it and see what you can do.
Improving leg strength, when your balance is so bad you can't do.
Machines. You got machines for your legs. If you're on the ground doing bridges, if you've got someone to help you, remember what I was showing you, an isometric wall squat, or just to hold yourself up against the wall? Those type of things are very, very good.
So much of what you do, everybody does, but they must be with their arms forward, everything's in front of them like this. What are some of the best things they can do to help with posture?
If you're laying down, okay, posture's a whole nother hour. But posture is habit. You can have the strongest postural muscles in the world. If you have a habit of doing this, they become stretched and weak. So if you think about it, I'm going to look around the room. Everyone's got bad posture in here. I'm going to turn around. While I'm turning around, now everybody's got better posture in here because everyone's sat up. It'll take about 30 to 40 seconds for them to start slouching again because it's habit. So you want to have the habit of sitting up straight. I'm sure everyone's had parents that have said, come on, head up straight, shoulders out, chest out, ears, shoulders, hips, ankles. Try to think about it like that. But you practice it. You practice it, practice it, practice it, make it a habit.
I told my kids pretend like you are being tall.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll also get your transverse abdominis to fire if you're standing up taller because you're stretching your body out, bringing it in. And any other questions?
It's not a question, it's a statement. You're absolutely fabulous, and thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. That makes it all more worth it. You know, I was lucky enough to be in a profession that when this came along, I was able to actually help people, and I completely changed my career path to help others, which in turn is helping me. I'm not driving a Mercedes, but I go home very happy every day, and it's very gratifying, and it's wonderful to have a family like this and the MS Foundation who brings me to help you guys. And if you guys think you got something out of this, what I get out of the feedback you guys give me is equal or greater for me. So I appreciate everyone who came this morning, so thank you very much.